Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Islamic Notes channel, a place to share real-life stories of converts from around the world, discover their heart-touching journey, and how the light of Islam changed their lives. The first Muslim footprints on North Dakota land. In the early 20th century, long before the term Muslim American community was widely known, the flat, wind-swept plains of North Dakota were already welcoming Muslim immigrants around 1900 to 1910. Small groups of families from the Middle East, primarily from Lebanon, Syria, and to a lesser extent from Jordan, decided to leave their homelands, which were then still under the rule of the Ottoman Empire. They came to America with simple hopes to seek a better life, free from the stifling economic and political pressures of their homelands. Many of them didn't speak English fluently, but they possessed strong determination and the farming skills much needed in the American North. When they arrived in North Dakota, they found vast, cold, and often snow-covered lands. But for these Muslim immigrants, the desolate plains became a new place to start their lives. They purchased plots of land in rural areas, one of the most famous of which is Ross, North Dakota, a small town in the northwestern part of the state. This is where the first traces of Islam began to take root on North American soil. They built small wooden houses, toiled in wheat fields, planted potatoes, and raised livestock amidst the harshness of nature. They never forgot their roots and faith. They taught their children the Shahada, prayer, and fasting during Ramadan, even without a large mosque or a large community. Sometimes they gathered in a family's home to read the Quran and share stories from Arabia. In the silence of those vast plains, the call to prayer may have been muted, but the spirit of Islam lived on in their hearts. Imagine in those days, amid fields stretching as far as the eye could see, with knee-deep snow and howling winds, a small group of Muslim farmers praying on the cold ground of North Dakota. They had no regular imam, no extensive Quranic manuscripts, and even halal meat was not readily available. But their faith was strong. They upheld Islamic values in a simple way, making family and faith their primary strengths. Amidst cultural pressures and thousands of miles from their homeland, they managed to maintain their Muslim identity in a land where Islam was completely unknown. Theirs is a story of steadfast faith, of how Islam grew not through power, but through the faith and sincerity of a small group of people who loved their God. America's first mosque, the Light of Islam from Ross, North Dakota. 2 decades after the first Muslim immigrants set foot on the cold land of North Dakota, their lives began to stabilize. Through years of hard work, they had their own farms, more comfortable homes, and good relationships with the local community. But there was one thing they continued to long for, a place to worship together. For years, they prayed in private homes. Their children grew up without ever seeing a physical mosque, only hearing stories of minarets and domes from their parents' homelands of Lebanon and Syria. So in the late 1920s, around 1929, a group of Muslim families in the small town of Ross, North Dakota, decided to build a simple place of worship. The mosque was built by hand, made of wooden planks, with a low roof and no minaret. There was no renowned architect, no elaborate design, and no large budget. But the spirit behind it was extraordinary. On a vast, quiet farmland stands a small, historic mosque, now known as the first mosque in America. The building sits on a modest plot of land, just a few square meters. Inside, there are no luxurious carpets, just mats or cloths brought from home. This mosque became the spiritual center of the Muslim farmers of Ross in the surrounding area. They gathered every Friday, sharing news, praying together, and teaching their children to read Arabic during Ramadan. Despite the distance between their homes, they still made a point of breaking their fast together, sometimes with just bread, dates, and hot tea sent from the Middle East. At night, they sat in front of the mosque, gazing at the star-filled sky over the vast plains of North Dakota, and talking about how Islam would live on, even in a land that had not yet known it. The Ross Mosque was not only a place of worship, but also a symbol of the resilience of the first generation of Muslims in America. They proved that Islam could thrive anywhere, even in lands far from Mecca and Medina. However, their journey was not always easy. Over time, their children grew up and began to migrate. Many second and third generation Ross Muslims moved to larger cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, and Detroit in search of jobs and education. As a result, the Muslim community in Ross dwindled. In the 1940s and 1950s, the mosque gradually declined in use. Regular worshippers ceased to attend. The building began to deteriorate due to North Dakota's extreme cold, the roof leaked, and the walls began to decay. Eventually, the mosque lay neglected for decades. However, despite its physical destruction, its memory and spirit never died. Many Muslim descendants of Ross hold this story as part of their identity. They know that their grandparents were pioneers, the first Muslims to pray on American soil, with sincerity and selflessness. Some non-Muslim Ross residents also remember the mosque with reverence. They know that the Muslim immigrants were good neighbors, hardworking, and never caused trouble. They left a peaceful legacy and a lasting impression on the surrounding community. The small mosque became widely recognized as a monument to the history of Islam in America. Many researchers and historians came to Ross to learn how this small community managed to build a place of worship and maintain its Islamic identity amidst the solitude of the Western Plains. In the early 2000s, Muslim descendants of the original Ross family returned to the site. With great reverence, they rebuilt the mosque, this time not just a place of prayer, but also a symbol of the history and pride of Islam in America. The Ross Mosque, now standing again, serves as a reminder that Islam has long been a part of this nation's history, long before the arrival of modern waves of immigration. From this small mosque in the frozen soil of North Dakota, the light of Islam slowly shone into the heart of America. The mosque is more than just a wooden structure. It is a witness to faith, a symbol of steadfastness, and proof that Islam can grow without power, without great numbers, only with the strength of heart and sincere belief. A new awakening, a wave of modern Muslims in North Dakota. Entering the 1970s, a new chapter began for Islam in North Dakota. After decades of a declining Muslim community in Ross, a new wave of Muslims began to revive the previously waning spirit. However, this time, the new Muslims came from different backgrounds and goals. They were no longer farmers from the Middle East, like the first generation, but students, professionals, and workers from all over the Muslim world. This new wave of Muslim immigrants came from countries such as Pakistan, Sudan, Somalia, Egypt, Iran, Turkey, and Indonesia. Many came to North Dakota to pursue higher education at prestigious universities like North Dakota State University, NDSU, in Fargo, or the University of North Dakota, UND, in Grand Forks. Others came for job opportunities in the energy, agriculture, and oil industries, particularly in the state's booming western region. This generational divide created a new face of Islam in North Dakota. While earlier generations of Muslims lived on farms and integrated into rural communities, this new generation of Muslims lives in cities, working in laboratories, offices, hospitals, and universities. They bring with them a more diverse range of Islamic traditions, reflecting the diversity of the Islamic world itself. In Fargo, one of North Dakota's largest cities, Muslims began gathering regularly for congregational prayers in small rented spaces. Initially, they used university classrooms or home garages for Friday prayers. However, as the number of Muslims grew, the need for a permanent place of worship grew. This led to the establishment of the Islamic Center of Fargo-Moorhead, the first Islamic community center in the region. The center hosts a variety of activities: daily prayers, children's religious studies, Quran classes, and interfaith meetings with local Christians and Jews. The Islamic Center also serves as a gathering place for Muslims from various ethnicities around the world: Arabs, Africans, South Asians, and Southeast Asians, all united by faith and a sense of family. Fargo is home to vibrant Muslim communities, as well as Grand Forks, Minot, and Bismarck. International students have established Muslim student associations, MSAs, on major campuses to introduce Islam to the American public and help fellow Muslim students adjust to life in a foreign country. Every year when Ramadan arrives, the atmosphere in North Dakota mosques is unusually warm. Outside, temperatures can reach 0 degrees, snow covers the streets, and the wind blows fiercely. But inside the mosques, Muslims from many nations gather together. They break their fast with dates, rice, and dishes from various countries, from Pakistani samosas to Indonesian fried rice. This scene is a beautiful symbol of the unity of global Muslims living peacefully in the heart of the United States. There are no cultural barriers, no language barriers, only a sense of brotherhood that grows through a shared faith. However, this time has not been without its challenges. After the attacks of September 11, 2001, Muslims across America faced a wave of prejudice and fear. North Dakota, though far from the epicenter of the attacks, felt the impact. Many Muslims felt watched or faced suspicious glances from neighbors and coworkers. But instead of withdrawing, the Muslim community in North Dakota chose to open up. They held Open Mosque Day, a day open to non-Muslims to come to the mosque, talk, and learn directly about Islam. In various cities, imams and Muslim community leaders attended public discussions and spoke at schools and universities to explain that Islam is a religion of peace, not violence. This approach paid off. Slowly, local communities began to understand that Muslims in North Dakota were part of the same community. They were doctors at local hospitals, professors at universities, engineers at oil companies, and high-achieving students. Islam began to be accepted as part of North Dakota's social and cultural life. Many non-Muslims celebrated Eid al-Fitr together, and some local churches even partnered with mosques on social programs, such as distributing food to the homeless and disaster victims. One of the most striking aspects of this development was the role of the younger generation of Muslims. These were the children of immigrants who had grown up in America, were fluent in English, and understood Western culture, while still upholding Islamic values. This young generation was active on campus, participating in social organizations, and even getting involved in local politics. They became a bridge between Islam and the wider community, conveying a modern, intelligent, and open image of Islam. Many of them also began writing, producing educational videos, and conducting creative dawah activities on social media. Toward the end of the 20th century, the face of Islam in North Dakota had changed dramatically. From a small mosque in Ross, Islam in North Dakota. Today, peaceful, growing, and rooted in the plains of America. Now in the 21st century, Islam in North Dakota is no longer a small story in the corner of history. It has become a visible part of the state's modern face, coexisting peacefully within a diverse society and growing slowly but surely in various aspects of life. Whereas 100 years ago, there were only a handful of Muslim families on the Ross farms, today thousands of Muslims live scattered throughout major cities like Fargo, Grand Forks, Minot, Williston, and Bismarck. They come from all corners of the world, from the Middle East, Africa, South Asia, and Southeast Asia, and together form a beautiful mosaic of modern Islamic communities in the northern United States' active mosques and community centers. Mosques now stand proudly and are open to the public. In Fargo stands the Islamic Center of Fargo-Moorhead, one of the largest Islamic centers in North Dakota. This mosque is not just a place of worship, but also a social and educational center. There are weekend schools for Muslim children, Tahsin and Tafsir classes, and social activities to help the poor, and converts every Friday. Hundreds of worshipers come to perform congregational prayers. They come from various backgrounds: students, doctors, factory workers, and even truck drivers. All unite in the same prayer line, without distinction of race or language. That is the strength of Islam in North Dakota: simplicity and sincere togetherness. Furthermore, the Grand Forks Islamic Center is also an important place for Muslims in the eastern part of the state. The mosque frequently hosts open events such as Visit a Mosque Day, where non-Muslims are invited to come, observe Muslim worship, hear lighthearted lectures about Islam, and ask questions without fear. Many non-Muslims are surprised by how friendly and open the Muslims are. Some even admit that their perception of Islam has completely changed after interacting directly. This is one of the greatest achievements of the North Dakota Muslim community, erasing prejudice through sincerity and friendship. Ramadan in the snow. One of North Dakota's most beautiful sights is the month of Ramadan. Despite the bitter cold, when night temperatures can dip to -20 degrees Celsius, Muslims remain enthusiastically fasting. When the evening call to prayer sounds, mosques are filled with worshipers from various nations. Long tables are filled with traditional Islamic dishes, biryani from Pakistan, samosas from India, lentil soup from Egypt, injera from Ethiopia, and even nasi uduk from Indonesia. All are served together, creating a warm, family atmosphere amidst the snow. In the evening, the Tarawih prayer, Tarawih, is performed devoutly. The voice of the imam reciting holy verses echoes through the modest mosque space, reminding each worshiper of their distant homeland. Many non-Muslims are also invited to join in the iftar, breaking of the fast, a tradition that has grown in popularity over the years, harmonious interfaith relations. One of the hallmarks of Islam in North Dakota is the strong relationship between Muslims and other communities. The state's people are known for their friendliness and openness. In many cities, mosques collaborate with churches and social organizations to organize joint activities, such as fundraisers for disaster relief, food drives for the homeless, or interfaith scholarship programs. For example, in Fargo, an event titled Faiths in Unity brought together Muslim, Christian, and Jewish religious leaders in one forum. They spoke about peace, social justice, and the importance of understanding amidst differences. At events like these, the voices of Muslims are no longer isolated. They are heard, respected, and recognized as an important part of North Dakota society. The growing number of converts and Islamic propagation. Another interesting phenomenon is the increasing number of converts, or Americans embracing Islam. Many of them learned about Islam through friendships with local Muslims or through attending educational activities at mosques. Some converts say they were attracted to the simplicity of Islamic teachings, the discipline of prayer, and the sense of brotherhood they felt when they first entered the mosque. Others discovered Islam through personal study, reading the Quran and seeking spiritual truths they hadn't previously encountered. Mosques in North Dakota now offer special classes for converts, guiding them in understanding the basics of Islam and providing moral support so they don't feel alone. In a peaceful community like North Dakota, they can navigate their new lives with peace and confidence. A new generation of Muslim Americans today, Muslim children born and raised in North Dakota, are the new face of Islam in America. They are fluent in English, well-educated, and active members of society. Many of them have become successful doctors, professors, engineers, and entrepreneurs. They are also active in social and campus activities, advocating for justice, human rights, and interfaith tolerance. This generation serves as a bridge between Islamic identity and modern American life. They demonstrate that being Muslim does not mean rejecting Western culture, but rather embodying universal Islamic values such as compassion, honesty, and peace in a pluralistic society. In fact, some of this younger generation are becoming involved in local politics and public institutions. They want Muslim voices to be heard at the policy table, not just in the mosque. This demonstrates that Muslims in North Dakota are not just immigrants, but full citizens who are contributing to the future of their region, Islam in North Dakota. From minority to inspiration. From the quiet fields of Ross to the bustling city of Fargo, the journey of Islam in North Dakota is a story of steadfast faith, adaptation, and peace. Islam did not arrive by force or great numbers, but grew through sincerity, knowledge, and tangible contributions to society. Today, Muslims in North Dakota are known for their integrity and hard work. They not only maintain their religious identity, but also become active participants in social and economic life. In schools, hospitals, universities, and even government institutions, Muslims are present as part of the North Dakota family. The once small and quiet Ross Mosque is now a historic site visited by countless people each year. It symbolizes that Islam has long been a part of America, not a novelty, not a threat, but a part of this nation's rightful heritage. Islam in North Dakota is now more than just history. It is a lived reality. From the first generation of Lebanese farmers to the modern generation of young American Muslims, all pass on the same message, that Islam can grow anywhere, even amidst the snow and wheat fields of America, as long as there is faith, sincerity, and brotherhood. Conclusion: the journey of Islam in North Dakota is a remarkable story, one of perseverance, patience, and a faith that transcends distance, time, and difference. From a small wooden mosque in Ross to modern Muslim communities in Fargo, Grand Forks, and Bismarck, this long history is not merely a local chronicle, but a reflection of the spiritual journey of Muslims in the West. More than a century ago, when the first Muslim immigrants arrived in North Dakota, they never imagined that their humble steps would become the foundation for the future of Islam in America. They came without great ambition, simply wanting to work, raise a family, and worship Allah in peace. But from that sincerity, strong roots of faith grew, roots that now support a new generation of American Muslims. The small mosque in Ross symbolizes the beginning of all that. That humble structure not only united the Muslim farmers of Lebanon and Syria during its time, but also served as proof that Islam could live peacefully in the heart of America today. The mosque stands again, carefully restored as a historic site, not only for Muslims, but for America itself. Many non-Muslim visitors come there to learn, reflect, and understand how a small group of immigrants was able to build a spiritual life amidst the silence of the snowfields. The Ross Mosque now stands as a silent witness to the peaceful, simple, and devoted history of Islam. For Muslims in North Dakota, the mosque is a reminder that they are part of a long chain of faith struggles, that Islam is not just a religion that came from abroad, but has long been rooted in American soil, bringing with it the values of kindness, honesty, and hard work. Islam in North Dakota grew not because of political power, not because of large numbers, and not because of strong financial support, but because of love for Allah and a passion for peace. In a region known for its cold winds, Muslims ignite spiritual warmth. They build good relationships with their neighbors, contribute to social activities, and demonstrate Islam not just through words, but through concrete actions. While the world often views Islam through the lens of conflict, North Dakota offers a different narrative, one of an Islam that is gentle, friendly, and integrated into life. Muslim children attend school alongside non-Muslim peers, respect each other's differences, and grow into a generation that understands the true meaning of diversity. The younger generation of Muslims in North Dakota is now carrying on the legacy of this long history. They inherit not only mosques and traditions, but also the values of struggle and resilience from their predecessors. They learn that being Muslim in America doesn't mean hiding from society, but rather being part of the solution. They serve as a bridge between the Islamic world and the West, bringing a message of peace, knowledge, and humanity. In class, they speak about Islam not with fear, but with conviction. In the workplace, they demonstrate the Islamic ethos through honesty and professionalism, and in their social lives, they exemplify that faith and modernity can coexist. For them, Islam is not just an identity, but a way of life that unites spirituality with social responsibility. The story of Islam in North Dakota sends an important message to the world that Islam can live anywhere, even in cold, remote places far from the centers of Islamic civilization. Islam is not a religion bound by time and space. It lives in the hearts of all believers, in wheat fields, in campus laboratories, in humble homes, and even in the midst of unforgiving snowstorms. The presence of Islam in North Dakota proves that this religion does not need a majority to shine. It simply requires a sincere heart and a determination to do good. From there, Islam grows, develops, and inspires, without violence, without coercion, simply through the beauty of morality. Looking at America at large, North Dakota may seem small and lonely, but from this place emerged one of the best examples of how Islam and Western society can coexist harmoniously. Mosques in Fargo and Grand Forks stand side by side with churches, not as competitors, but as respectful neighbors. Every Eid al-Fitr, many non-Muslims come to offer their congratulations. Every time a humanitarian crisis strikes, Muslims step in to help regardless of their religious background. This is the true face of Islam, not about differences, but about mercy for all of nature. Now, as we look to the future, the story of Islam in North Dakota is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. New generations will continue to write their own story about an Islam that is intelligent, active, and peace-loving, about a people who maintain their faith even far from the Holy Land, And somewhere on the vast Ross Plain, the call to prayer will still echo, albeit softly in the winter breeze. It is a reminder that more than 100 years ago, a small group of Muslims planted a seed of faith in this land. And today, that seed has grown into a shady tree, sheltering all who seek peace. From the flatlands of North Dakota, we learn that Islam belongs to no particular nation or continent. It is a light that can shine anywhere. As long as there are faithful hearts, working hands, and peace-loving souls. And like the light of dawn slowly breaking through the cold fog, Islam in North Dakota continues to shine its light softly but surely, illuminating the world with serenity and compassion.